Well, here we are, 4th of July weekend. Happy Independence Day to all of us. Before I get to my talk, I'd like to do a little update on the Cottage project. It's coming along quite nicely. We got our new windows in the front all installed this week. Painting's pretty much done. We're just working on the last room right now. So we should be finished a week before the 1st of August. And Cottage did a walkthrough the other day, and they were quite impressed by the progress that we've made. So I think it's going to be a win-win-win for everyone. So it's Independence Weekend. 244 years ago, some very courageous, very intelligent individuals declared independence from Great Britain. In so doing, they had the task of creating some documents to form a framework for the governance of this new land. Bill of Rights and the Constitution. For their time, 244 years ago, they did an amazing job, truly amazing. Thomas Jefferson wanted to make sure that the Constitution created provisions whereby the general public, the citizens of this country, could update it every generation, every 20 years. But the majority of the framers chose to keep control of their aristocracy, and that the only way our Constitution can be updated or changed is by a 2/3 majority of both houses of Congress, and additionally requires the ratification of at least 3/4 of the states. That can almost never happen. Here recently, in the last year or two, the Women's Rights Amendment finally, after 50 years, received ratification from 3/4 of the states, but time had run out on the Senate majorities and the House congressional majority vote. When you stop and think about it, how could anything created in the 18th century be valid and useful and serve the needs of a society here in 2020? Nothing. I don't think anything could create it at that point in time, with the situations and the realities of society at that point in time, could have hardly anything to even do with the realities of society today. Our Constitution is selectively interpreted by the Supreme Court and by Congress. Our government, our political parties have formed this magnificent partnership with the corporate empire. And 99% of all legislation favors the aristocracy, favors the corporations, and not we the people. But we do count for something. We do, if we meet the right restrictions and the right qualifications, we do have an opportunity to vote once a year or twice a year. But the one thing that all of us, we the people, get to do, in fact, we have to do it. We have to pay for everything. I sound kind of negative, but that's just how things have transmitted over the years. And that's why I'm so excited, folks, by all of the excitement, the courage, all these different movements are having right now. They understand that our Constitution, the laws of this land, don't serve us well any longer. It's time for radical, necessary change. Maybe it's time for a whole new Constitution. I don't know. I don't know where the inertia of these movements will take us. I hope they take us over the next 100 years a very far distance. I hope over the next 4 or 5 generations we see some wonderful change for we the people. I hope we see change based on the good of the whole instead of the good of the aristocracy. We don't know. But that's not really what I want to talk about today. It's a little history lesson, a little update. We're all probably aware of that. But what I want and hope all of us can celebrate today is our personal independence. Ever since the 6th day of January, virtually every talk that I have offered, every message, has been based on the foundation of this is a year of transformation. We may be starting several years, decades of transformation, serious transformation, but individual transformation. And that's what I hope each of us can think about and celebrate this weekend. We can celebrate the transformation of our old habits that we perhaps no longer have, as we have begun to create our new normal. Maybe transformation and independence from, like Wayne talked about a couple weeks ago, our bias. All of our opinions that we just have carried around in a sack on our backs forever and forever. Maybe it's time we really look at those and see how we have set ourselves free of some of those biases that haven't served us or others very well. Independence from the fear that seems to be spread throughout the world right now. Be afraid, be very afraid. No, my friends, be aware and be cautious and take care of yourself. But don't be afraid. Let's become independent of fear. And we hear over the airways and through the media all the time, we're supposed to hate them because they're different than us. They don't agree with us, so we need to hate them. Let's celebrate our independence from hate and from dislike and from non-acceptance. We are all human beings. We all have opinions and habits and feelings based on the sum total of the experiences of each individual life. And we need to accept that and be considerate of that and work together for the good of the whole. Maybe we can celebrate our independence from judgment. We judge everybody. We can't help it. We just do. I do, you do. Perhaps as we create this new normal, that new normal can include acceptance of our fellow human beings. Maybe we can celebrate our independence from the ignorance of complacency. as each of us is working to become more aware of the serious issues and challenges this globe, this planet faces. Global warming, war, violence, killing. These are issues that every one of us on this planet needs to deal with. Independence. Each one of us has transformed this year in some way, I'm sure of it. And in that transformation, let's give thanks and gratitude for what we have freed ourselves from that we have carried for so many years. And let's give thanks for what we are about to learn as we continue into this unknown future, as we continue to create this new normal. And together, let's hold hands. Wash them first, perhaps, but let's hold hands and stick together. Let's reaffirm that we are one people throughout the world. The only folks I think that don't want to be one are the ones who suffer from the psychotic disease of greed and power. But I think the majority, the huge majority of people on this planet, breathing air right now, just want to live in peace and harmony with each other, peace and harmony with nature, with our planet. We want to be able to love our families and care about our societies and take care of each other. We can do that. We have proved time and time again we can do that. So my friends, this Independence Day, let's give thanks for having the opportunity to live in a land like the United States, where we have so many advantages over so many people in the world. But let's constantly be aware that times are changing, and our laws need to change, our systems need to change to bring about what's good for we, the people. And let's give thanks in this little congregation we call Church of the Oaks that we have each other. Happy Independence Day. And so it is.